All right. We started.
Oh my gosh, we started. Hello.
Hi. Good
Welcome.
morning.
It's the time for the podcast.
It's the time for the podcast.
Let's do this. I'm so excited to be here today and to talk about a movie.
Right. This is Confidently Controversial. It's a podcast about movies.
And friendship.
And friendship. Yes, mostly friendship.
Yeah.
How are you, my friend? Emily Paul.
I mean, I'm okay. I have my third round of poison ivy going on here.
Jesus Christ.
I know. We haven't even cracked into the summer yet, so.
Well, today's June 1st.
It doesn't seem like it.
No, it's like November.
I know, but I don't
I
like
love
it.
I'm so happy.
It's pretty nice outside.
I figured out yesterday, I've confirmed how evil I am as a person because I realized that one of my favorite summer things is when it's the middle of a sunny day, just regular sunny day. All of a sudden, wind picks up and then that rain comes rolling in and it's real quick. So quick that you know that people were trapped in it.
You are evil. Oh my gosh.
People that were like out enjoying their vacation day or like just walking along,
Wearing their cute little summertime vacation
wearing
outfits.
their bikinis despite the fact that it's 62 degrees outside.
No, they didn't bring anything else to wear.
No. And then all of a sudden, thunder, lightning, soaked.
Well, that was yesterday because in
Yeah.
the middle of the day. And I wonder about that because I sign up for your town's
Oh, yes. Weather alerts.
weather alerts.
Yes.
Yeah. Why? I don't know.
Because they're helpful.
They are helpful. And they will tell, all of a sudden it'll be like, evacuate the beach,
Yeah.
evacuate the beach. And I'm like, oh God.
Well, it was funny, too, because I was saying to my husband, I was like, so, storms, we get a lot of them down here, but I feel like the one yesterday, all of a sudden, like, you get the tingle. It's like Twister-esque, where the tingling of the wind chimes, and then they're all, like, blowing, and I was like, oh, this one's going to be a good one, and I, like, ran outside and, like, tucked my pillows in on my porch so they don't fly off, but then you see people, like, who don't know how storms work, I guess. Just, like, do-do-do, walking along. I was like, oh, it's going to happen, sir.
You're like the person in the beginning of The Wizard of Oz. You're like, wind's picking up. It's going to be a doozy.
That's me. And then, additionally, so this is another summertime. This is on my list of things to talk about.
Okay.
Storms weren't, this is, but they're related because there's a lot of people in my town. I live in a beach town. We've talked about this before. Every weekend, every day in the summertime is an influx of people.
Yeah.
So there's a lot going on over here. The new thing where people, and I know it's not new because when we were kids, people wore boom boxes on their shoulders, but this thing where people walk around just blaring music,
Yeah.
I hate it.
Oh, yes.
And I also have so many questions about how you choose. Like, if it was my music, I'd be like, oh, no, not this song, not this song.
Oh, yeah.
Like, how do you choose what your song's going to be that you're going to blare out?
You have to
for
have
the
like a
whole world to
playlist.
Yeah, I know. But then, like, I don't know. It's not like they're playing good songs.
I feel like I didn't have, the only time I did have some sort of boombox situation.
Where you walked around with it?
I didn't walk around with it, but I used to have this, it was specifically for the beach and it was so cute. It was this tiny little like square and it was just a little speaker with a big antenna on it so that you could listen to the radio.
Yeah.
And I would bring that to the beach and I listened to WZXL.
But it wasn't your choice of what I was going to play. There was a trained DJ.
There was a DJ trained in the dark arts of classical rock.
Who was deciding what you were going to play.
He's like, I know, Boston.
Right.
And it was amazing.
Yeah.
But, well, that and then DOX, which was the radio station when we were kids.
Right, we've talked about that on the pod before, I'm sure.
Right, but I did, that was the only time I wouldn't walk around with it. But and it was small enough where I don't think it would.
Like on the beach, like, I feel like on the beach you are creating your own zone.
Yes.
And like your towels and your stuff, you're in your zone. That music is for your zone. You know, it's not like you're playing it like so loud.
And also it doesn't, the sound does not carry in that way that it would in like a house when you're outside. I feel like you could have music going, especially if it's just like a personal, you have just like a little Bluetooth speaker.
Yeah, is that what they play them on now?
I think so.
Speakers, I guess?
And it's not going to go that far because of the wind and the ocean sounds and everything else. But yeah, I've seen people walking around. The thing that annoys me more than that though, is the people who always talk on speakerphone.
Oh, well, yeah.
I can't
Those
handle
people
it.
are sociopaths.
I know, but it's like, I mean, my mom and sorry, Nancy.
Sorry, Nancy.
But I mean, so many people are just
Out in public?
out in public.
Like, I do it in
see
my
people on their
home.
phones, like in Acme, just like, it's like, do they not know they could put it up to their ear? Or Jesus Christ, just get some earbuds.
Yeah.
And you can have a whole conversation with someone. I don't care if you're like talking to yourself.
Right.
I don't care if you want to conduct a phone call while you're walking around. I don't have a problem with that. But I don't need to hear both. I hate like the whole walking with the speakerphone in front of your face.
Yeah.
If you're going to hold it like that, just turn off speakerphone and put it on your ear.
Right.
That's
Yeah,
it.
exactly.
It's just a little, it's
Unless
from here
there's a
to
need
here.
for you to be FaceTiming at that moment. Like, is this the right rice to buy?
I don't ever think there's a need to I hate FaceTime too.
Okay.
Yeah, I have a whole thing with those kind of phone calls.
This has been our,
old lady rants of the
grievances
day.
corner. The final thing that was on my list to talk about was, does everyone use cocaine now?
Does everyone use cocaine? I don't know. I don't.
I know you don't. I don't.
Right.
But
I don't have time
I
for
think
that.
other people do because, and
Is it, well,
Instagram, I get a lot of content,
cocaine content?
cocaine content. Because I mean, they've got me in the fact that I do like an accessory, and if I did do cocaine, I would want accessories for it.
Oh, God.
But they're missing on the cocaine part of things. So like yesterday, I got a thing for this like little like case that like you flip open, and like you can scoop up your cocaine, and it puts in perfect lines. And then in the back of it, there's like, and then you can close it up. And then in the back of it, there's like a thing that, an accoutrement that goes in there that's like the straw. So you can, bump it.
What?
And then
Cocaine's coming back.
and then they make like rings and necklaces and stuff like that to hold your cocaine.
Well, it's like the 70s. That feels very 70s to me.
It does, but at the same time, like, and then they do this a lot with like weed ads on Instagram as well.
Weed's all about the accessories as well.
Oh yeah, and whatever. But I just find it funny that they always pretend they're like, if you want to bring home some sand from the beach, and then they like show you how to use it. Like they don't use cocaine; they show you how to use it with like sand, or like they pretend that it's not for drugs. And I don't know. I just find it fascinating.
I didn't realize that cocaine was...
I think it's back, and I think it's bigger than ever.
Really?
Yeah.
I think everything in the age of the internet and social media
Feels bigger.
Feels bigger than
Yeah,
ever.
yeah, yeah.
Even though it was probably pretty big.
Yeah, I mean the 80s. You can't say it wasn't big in the 80s.
I mean, yeah. But I feel like it was just as tangential to us.
Yeah,
because
I
I feel
know.
like we were too
babies
young
then.
for it back in the 80s. And now we're too
Now
old
we're too old for it. Yeah.
We missed it.
It would stop my heart immediately.
Oh my God, I would never.
Right.
I would never.
Right. So, if you're on cocaine, write us a letter, I guess.
Because you're going to be up all night.
Yeah.
And you probably have a lot of things
Tell
to
us
say.
your business idea. And
Well, I mean, there have been some people in our lives that I've speculated
that
have been on cocaine.
Mhm. Someone very recently.
And
that we've known.
and there was that thing in the back of my head. First, I was like, this person is acting very cokey.
Yeah.
And then I was like, no, but do people do cocaine? Like, that's not a thing now. But maybe it is.
It is, and I'm pretty sure you're right. I know who you're talking about. And,
Okay.
Most deaf.
Well, we're gonna talk more about that, not on the podcast.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's crazy to me that you're seeing these things. It's also concerning to me. Your feed,
I know.
your algorithm is wild. What does the internet think you are?
I know.
Like, what does the internet think of you
I
based
know.
on your algorithm? It thinks that you are some sociopath druggie.
I think sometimes it thinks I'm a black woman.
What?
I do. I think sometimes it does. And then also that I do cocaine, and that I like to watch pimple popping videos, and people get hurt sometimes.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
also fashion and crafts.
Okay.
So
I feel like we should put our feeds up against each other
Oh, yeah.
and just do like a 5-video flip on Reels.
Okay.
Just to see what comes. Like we should both start from the same video.
Okay.
And see what comes up.
next. I'm down for that.
Yeah, because I
see
feel
what
like
the-
yours will get quickly gross, real quick. Mine is just like thirst traps
Yeah.
and ladies talking about perimenopause.
Right. Well, I get that too, because oddly enough, I chose today's movie based off of a thirst trap that was served to me.
Oh, I love a thirst trap.
I know.
I love a thirst trap. I love it when like, you know what one of my favorite one is when they do like those like quick, like where it's like they're looking schlubby and all of a sudden like a light comes on and they're like a sharp dressed man.
Sharp dressed man. Well, this one was based on that. So do you want to hear what it is?
Oh my gosh, yes I do.
All right. Okay, so we're back. And previously I mentioned that, Thirst Trap City.
I love a thirst trap.
Right.
I'm thirsty.
So this one was kind of someone that I was not that familiar with their work. They are deceased.
Oh.
I know. But at the same time, I've been getting these like things that's like, bo, 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 and it like switches the photo. And
I don't understand.
Hotsy-totsy photos.
What did you just do?
Bop, 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 bop. People know what I'm talking about.
Okay.
So the movie I chose today, I've never seen.
Oh my gosh.
And I don't know if you've seen it either, because much like cocaine, this movie missed us.
Okay.
In that it was rated R and it came out in 1986.
Okay.
So I feel like we were not allowed to watch it.
Okay.
And then by the time we were old enough, I don't think we would have been interested enough to watch it.
Okay.
Because it's just not really something that either of us, I don't know. You've probably seen it. You've seen a lot of more movies than I have.
My parents were a little bit more loosey-goosey
They
on
were,
that.
yeah.
Yeah.
So it came out in 1986, and it's an American sports drama film.
American sports drama film with a hottie who is dead.
Yes, dead hottie.
A dead hottie. The worst kind.
It's respected as a visually slick, character-driven sports drama that bridges old Hollywood charisma with 1980s style.
Okay, sports movies from the 80s. Rocky, that's not going to be it. Because he's not dead yet.
It is a sequel
It's a sequel.
from a movie that first came out in 1961.
Okay. And it's an actual sequel, or it's just kind of taking the story to a next
It's
place?
taking the story to the next level, and one of the people that stars in it, the dead hottie, was in the original.
The Dead Hottie.
Yes. So this was released on October 8th, 1986, and went into wide release on October 17th, 1986. It was shot in 49 days for a cost of $14.5 million. And it was actually about $1.5 million under budget.
Okay.
Box office, it grossed $52.3 million.
Okay.
The director of this movie is Mr. Martin Scorsese.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. And he's famous for such movies as Taxi Driver, Raging Bulls.
At least you didn't say Raging Balls, which is I was really afraid for a second.
Goodfellas, Casino, The Wolf of Wall Street, all that stuff.
Yeah.
It's written by
He directed this, and it's a sports movie.
And, yeah.
And it's not Raging Bull. Well, that's Hottie's not dead yet.
No, and also, what they call it a sports movie. I don't know that I consider this a sport, but I'm sure people do. It was based on a screenplay, or it was a screenplay by Richard Price based on a novel by Walter Tevis. And he wrote the sequel to his original novel. And he actually died the same day that they received the galley proofs for the book, which are the galley proofs are like the advanced copies that you get. Rated R. And any ideas?
I'm trying to think of big sports movies from that day. The one that keeps coming up to me is Chariots of Fire.
No.
But I don't think that's Martin Scorsese.
No. The original movie is called The Hustler.
Oh, I've seen The Hustler.
You have?
I had to watch The Hustler in college. It's about pool. So this is a pool movie. Is this it's The Color of Money?
It is.
Oh yeah, I never saw this movie,
No.
but I know. But is Tom Cruise?
Tom Cruise and Paul Newman.
Paul Newman.
Yes, Dead Hottie.
Dead Hottie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so it came about, Paul Newman, he actually called Martin Scorsese in September 1984 and asked him if he was interested in directing a sequel to The Hustler. They had a couple of different screenplays and ultimately went with whoever that guy I said before, Richard Price. Richard Price, yeah. It was put out by 20th Century Fox, but it was declined by a couple other people first. Like 20th Century Fox declined putting it out and things like that. The book and the movie weren't necessarily written as sequels. They were just like kind of continuations of the story. But Paul Newman does resume his role as Fast Eddie Felson. Mm-hmm. And, 25 years after the original movie.
Yeah, like I said, we read that screenplay and we watched that movie when I was in college.
Okay.
And I remember really liking that movie. It's with that other Jackie Gleason,
Oh, okay.
I think is in that as well. But I mean, it's like an old black and white movie.
Mm-hmm. They originally considered making this movie in black and white. Martin Scorsese did, but then decided against it. Tom Cruise is like the protege in the movie. It also stars Mary Elizabeth Mastrantonio.
Oh, remember her?
Yeah. John Turturro,
I love John Turturro.
Forrest Whitaker,
Like him.
and Iggy Pop.
Oh, gosh.
I know.
That's crazy. I didn't know he was in that. Good for him.
Yeah. The movie actually won Academy Award for Best Actor, Paul Newman.
Good for him.
This was his first Oscar win after 7 nominations, and some people feel like this was like a kind of consolation prize Oscar, and he did end up giving the Oscar away. Like, he was like, yeah, I get it, why you gave this to me or whatever, and he was just not that into it. Like, he knew it wasn't kind of real, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
But,
I feel like the Oscars are weird like that, where
Yeah.
you can tell sometimes the way the Academy votes isn't. Yeah.
It's with heart.
I guess so. The Oscars need to.
Sure.
They need to some self-reflecting, I think.
Yeah. It was
But
also
anyway.
nominated for Best Supporting Actress for Mary Elizabeth Mastrantonio, Best Adapted Screenplay, Best Art Direction, and Best Cinematography.
It won, or those were all the other
They
nominations.
were all the nominations. It didn't win for any of those. Currently, it has a 89% on Rotten Tomatoes. It's 77 out of 100 on Metacritic and 7 out of 10 on IMDb. There's a lot of praise for Paul Newman's performance and Martin Scorsese's stylish direction. Also praise for Tom Cruise's energetic portrayal. He was pretty early in his career, and I can tell you, like, at this point, he had put out. I thought I put this.
The only other movie we've seen with him in the podcast was Rain Man, right?
And out The Outsiders.
Yeah, but he's not.
I know he's not.
He did have that great backflip in The Outsiders, which was pretty great.
Yeah.
But we haven't. This is peak Tom Cruise, right?
This is peak Tom Cruise. This was, and I thought I put it in here, but he had just really, Top Gun came out right before
yeah,
this.
so this
he was
is-
huge.
yes,
this
this
is
is-
very much peak Cruise. The site, a lot of people, or one of the reviews said that it's inferior to the original, goes without saying. But Paul Newman and Tom Cruise are a joy to watch, and Martin Scorsese's direction is typically superb.
Oh, well, I mean, it'll be a fun movie to watch then, I guess.
Ebert, he only gave it 2.5 stars.
There's no pleasing Ebert.
You really can't make him happy. And he said, if this movie had been directed by someone else, I might have thought differently about it because I might not have expected so much. But The Color of Money is directed by Martin Scorsese. Martin fucking Scorsese. The most
Does Ebert says that?
the most exciting American director now working. And it is not an exciting film. It doesn't have the electricity, the wound up tension of his best work. And as a result, I was too aware of the story marching by. But
All right.
he didn't like it, but anyway. They did really play pool. As you know, Tom Cruise, he's very famous for doing a lot of his own stunts. It must have started somewhere around here because he bought a pool table for his apartment and practiced hours on end.
This just tells me that Tom Cruise is a bore.
Yeah, no,
Right?
I mean, he's very committed. No, or he's very good at his job.
He's very committed to his job, but I feel like he's got nothing else going, like nothing else in his life.
Like,
Like where he just
mean
like,
to him.
I don't know. I think I can be a little bit mean to him. He's been in a cult for a long time, and a cult that like disappears people and has done some not great things. So I feel like I can throw Tom Cruise some shade if I want to.
I mean, I just say good for him for really committing and being like, I'm going to be the best at this that I can be, and I'm going to learn how to do it. Because I will say that sometimes in movies, it takes you out of it when it's clearly a stunt double.
Oh yeah. Oh, and also like with like I hate the thing like with piano when it's like somebody's playing piano and it's obviously someone just
Or like dancing or
Yes.
ice skating or something, and like you're just like seeing their feet.
Yes.
And you're just like, come on. Like, you know that's not this person.
Right.
So like I feel like that would have been very much the case in the pool thing if he could barely hold a pool cue and then not be able to work his stick.
Oh my God.
There is a Martin Scorsese cameo in the movie, so we'll have to be on the lookout for that.
Okay, love it.
There's I guess the Balabushka cue featured in the film became famous among billiards enthusiasts, though the one in the film wasn't a real balabushka. I don't know what that means.
What is a balabushka cue?
I guess it's the type of...
I feel like if you're getting some of these facts online, I feel like sometimes the deep cut fact, you can tell that some nerd wrote it.
Oh, yeah,
Like,
yeah.
there's so many times, especially in these 80s movies that we're looking at, there is someone dedicated to talking about the pinball machines that are in movies.
Oh, yeah,
Like, if there's a video game or a pinball machine that appears in any, like, background, someone will tell you all about them.
I follow a lady that does that looks at people knitting in movies and tells you if they can actually knit or not. Like, I follow her because it's very obvious.
Because you support autistic people.
Because I'm a knitter and I know when people aren't knitting. So it's very interesting to see it. Like, they're like, oh no, she actually knows how to knit, or this person doesn't know how to knit, or look at the way they're holding this thing.
I like it.
I like it too.
Okay. I like a niche thing. So, okay.
And so Paul Newman said he got the best advice ever given on a film by Martin Scorsese, and that was try not to be funny.
That's probably good for him. Because Tom Cruise isn't very funny.
Now, one thing I will say that I did see quite often about this movie was the music video.
Oh, is that it's in the way that you move it? Eric Clapton.
Yeah.
Oh my God. That was a deep cut memory.
Yeah. So
you come and you go. Dun, dun.
So the soundtrack was put together by Robbie Robertson.
Okay.
And it obviously features It's in the Way That You Use It by Eric Clapton and Robbie Robertson.
Okay.
Other people that are featured on the soundtrack are very of the time, including Don Henley.
We were just talking about Don Henley.
And Mark Knopfler. We were just talking about him, too.
Oh, my gosh.
And also... B.B. King and Robbie Robertson has some other songs on there too, and Warren Zevon, and Robert Palmer. It's very of the time.
Very boy.
Yeah, very boy.
It's a very boy soundtrack.
I think this is a boy movie.
It feels like it. Pool is a very boy thing.
Yeah.
Did you ever? Because there were a couple. I don't know if they still exist, but there were some places, billiard halls.
Oh yeah, my husband had a pool table in his home when we first started dating. In the basement, I think it got moved to the basement. But so we never really played it. I've never really played pool, but Randy has played for a while, and for a while, that was something to do to go hang out. I think, because you could drink and smoke, so the boys all liked it.
Yeah. I guess so. I'll play pool sometimes, but I get quickly bored with it.
Yeah, pool halls were definitely more robust.
They were a thing. I think they still are. Do people gamble on it?
Oh, yeah. One of the interviews I did this interview series at my last job where I interviewed team members, and one of them was a nurse, but also a professional pool player.
Crazy.
Yeah. And she went to competitions and stuff like that.
Oh, I've seen the competitions. They dress real dapper.
Yeah, sometimes they do. Yeah. But there's teams and everything. So.
Yeah, okay. Well, we're going to be watching a lot of pool.
Yeah. So anyway, Paul Newman, he was the thirst trap. Very hot.
Oh,
we haven't seen young pictures of him.
Cool Hand Luke, are you kidding me?
Yeah, he's famous. He started on Broadway and in early television and rose to fame in the late 1950s. He was very much a leading man after that. This was back in the time where people were really selective about their films. So, he wasn't in a ton of movies. Cat on a Hot Tin Roof, The Hustler, Cool Hand Luke, Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, The Sting, The Color of Money, Nobody's Fool, and Road to Perdition. I mean, they only list
He's also a voice in the first Cars movie.
Oh, okay.
So,
that was was nominated, like I said, 7 times. A number of his movies he was nominated for, but won for this. Again, gave it away. He won the Presidential Medal of Freedom in 1964. Very well known for his philanthropy work. And
salad dressing.
Yeah, he founded Newman's Own, a food company that donates 100% of its profits to charity, and they've given out over $500 million to date.
I like their pasta sauce.
Okay.
His Bombolina pasta sauce is my
Your
favorite.
Okay.
Yes.
He was also very into auto racing. He directed some films, and he was actually married to Joanne Woodward. They got married in 1958, and they were together for 50 years until he passed away.
Yeah, and he was supposedly, like, that's a great love story. They just did a documentary about them. I have not watched it, but I remember when it was coming out, a lot of people talking about him and talking about it. He was also an alcoholic.
Oh, okay.
Who drank quite a bit,
Oh.
but I think his wife really helped him
Got it.
through all of that.
Got it.
Interesting guy, though. Very, very hot.
Yes, very handsome.
Yeah.
So you don't think you did not see this movie?
I know I didn't. I saw the original one. I saw The Hustler, and I've seen other things with Paul Newman in it. When I was in college, a roommate of mine had the giant Cool Hand Luke poster in our room.
Okay.
So I've looked at him quite a bit.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
We're gonna look at him more today. I think he's a little, long in the tooth in this movie.
It's the 80s, so
He was
yeah.
86, and what did I say? When did I say he was?
So what would he be,
born?
like 50s maybe? He was
Yeah,
like
probably.
50.
But did I write down when he was born? No, I
We'll look
didn't.
it up.
But his first movie was 1958. So
Yeah.
like I said, long in the tooth, but hot in the face.
Awesome. Well, I'm excited to watch it.
Yeah, me too. I think. Despite what Ebert says, I think it's going to be decent because Scorsese. I feel like it was a big deal movie.
Yeah, we'll see. It's funny watching this. I started watching the second Godfather movie yesterday.
Oh, yeah.
So I feel like I'm in a weird zone.
Scorsese zone.
Well, he
No,
didn't
he
do
did
that, but
no.
but I don't know. To me, it's all
that
the
Coppola?
same. Coppola.
Got
But it's
it.
all to me. It's all the same.
It is.
It's very
Me
boy.
too.
A lot of boy movie happening.
yeah.
So
Yeah, but I don't know. I don't think we're going to hate it. So we'll see what happens.
okay, I'm ready for it. Let's
All
do
right.
it.
Controversial. Confidently controversial.
Okay.
Oh my gosh. Okay, this movie is such a boy movie.
Oh my God.
I'm going to tell you how much of a boy movie this was. In the middle of this movie, your husband came out and mansplained it to us. It's like he couldn't help himself.
I know. I felt it because he usually doesn't come out that much, but I feel like he came back a second time to be like,
Yeah, it's like he came out and he was like eating something in the kitchen and he lingered for a while and then he left and then he came back and it's like he had to tell us.
Oh, yeah.
He had to tell us about it.
And then when we said something like, oh, well, that's what we do on our podcast. Like, we talk about the facts of this movie. He was like, blah, 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 blah.
And then he left. And then he left.
Yeah.
Okay, this movie. Okay, first of all, this is like a real movie, so we're gonna have to talk about it like a real movie. I think
It's a real movie. Yeah, that's what I kept thinking. I was like, wow, we really haven't watched a real movie like this in a while.
I don't care
And
for
I
it.
didn't like it.
I want to go watch Summer School again.
I know.
Well, so okay, I'm gonna start with this is a quintessential road trip movie, right?
Rude. Oh,
That's the genre.
I guess.
It is. It's the genre of a road trip is you go from A to B and there's a journey that happens. The characters change through this journey that occurs.
But at the same time, I feel like they're going back and forth despite the fact that the same characters are in different cities. So I think there's inconsistencies in the setting that we are not going to get into because there's so many other things to talk about, but I just don't think it tracks right.
I agree with you. It's hard to know. They're going from point A to point B, but I have no idea where point A is.
Right.
So getting to point B doesn't mean anything to me.
Point B is Atlantic City.
Point B is Atlantic City.
But then at the same time, they have that guy that owns the pool bar in Atlantic City, or he said he's running it or whatever. And then later on, when Paul Newman is playing that guy from the same pool bar and the guy sets up the bet, he's like, well, I see you in Atlantic City.
Oh, I didn't
just
think-
this is Atlantic City.
I don't think it was Atlantic City.
But why were they all there?
I don't know.
If the guy owns a pool bar, he's not going to other pool bars.
I don't know. Kim, I
All right.
don't understand. There's a lot about this movie that I'm going to start from the beginning and tell you this. I don't understand anything about this movie.
No.
There's a central tension in this movie that I know is there. I can feel that it's there, but I don't connect with it, and I don't really know what it is.
No, I don't know more about how to play pool after watching this. I know less, I think.
There's something about I've never heard about a game where you got to get the 9-ball in. They play with less balls because it's in a diamond, not the full triangle.
Yeah, I know, but that's what I thought. I thought there were 9 balls they were playing with. How many are there normally?
Normally they fill out the triangle. There's like
But
13.
how many is that?
13?
How many balls in a triangle?
I mean, that is the question. How many balls in a triangle? They don't teach you that in school, do they?
No.
Yeah, but so this is just I don't have any sort of emotional connection to this movie whatsoever.
I would never, ever watch it again.
I will never. I would never, and I will never.
No.
And as I said before, I know I watched the Hustler movie. And I mean, it's a good movie, as I recall, but I would never watch that again
I just
either.
feel like, too, and I think, like, Roger, I'm sorry, we'll talk about what actually happens in the movie, but, like, I think, like Roger Ebert said, like, you're just watching them. They were just watching the days go by. You're watching the movie go by. Like, you want there to be some, like, I don't know, like, even, I feel like the music video was more exciting than this.
Well, it was a lot of the same thing. It was
Yeah.
like the pool games were the pool games. There was a lot of action in them, but I didn't understand the action.
right,
It was just
right.
like a lot of hitting of balls.
Right.
And
Which is
I'm
what
like,
pool
oh,
is, turns out.
I know, but like it doesn't mean like nothing.
I know.
None of the moves mean anything. I'm like, oh look, they put one in the pocket. I think that's a good thing they're supposed to do.
Yeah,
So-
but at the same time, like, I don't feel like, I feel like, I mean, I don't care for football, but if I watched, like, Rudy, I want them to win.
Well, yeah,
You know what I mean?
because in
Yeah.
that, it's like you understand a football game is a game and it has a winner and it has a loser.
Yeah, so does pool.
And yeah, but there's so many of those games. Whereas I feel like in a lot of other movies like Hoosiers and Rudy,
It's one
and
big game.
It's building up to a game, and then they tell you this is the one they got to win. This is the clincher. The music tells you that,
Sure.
and then you're invested in it in that
Okay.
way. This, I don't feel there was no way to be emotionally invested in any of the games because there were too many games.
Just being in love with Paul Newman. That was the only thing I was invested in.
And I mean, there's a lot there. There's a lot there to love.
Boy, is there.
We figured out that he's 61 in this movie.
Yeah.
Now, if you're Kim today, and that 61-year-old Paul Newman sidles up next to you at the bar
Today, Kim?
Today, Kim.
Oh, yes. Yes, please. Hustle me, baby.
Yeah,
yeah.
And then you got Tom Cruise.
He's
too much.
chody. He's very chody in this
He's
movie.
too much.
Yeah, I don't like
his
him.
hair is too full.
Oh, God.
It's too much hair.
Too thick.
Too thick.
Right. Too long.
They
too thick.
cut it down a little
Yeah.
bit, make it a little less poofy.
Go back to that Tom Cruise buzz cut. That what was the movie? Top Gun.
Top Gun.
Yeah.
Yeah, we need a little bit closer.
Yeah. Okay. So let's start. What's this movie about?
I don't know.
Okay. So there's a guy.
There's a guy. You got Eddie, and that's Paul Newman.
Yes.
And it starts out and he's like a liquor salesman.
Sure.
And it's obvious that he's got a relationship with this this barmaid.
Right, but they make it seem like they haven't seen each other in a really long time or something like that. Like they're rekindling their relationship, and that's not clear to me either.
Yeah.
Because then he's just at that place all the times, and then kind of acts like he owns it a little bit because he's like goes upstairs and everything. So I don't really understand.
Yeah, I don't understand the relationship either.
Okay. But anyway, so he's like macking on this lady and telling her how to buy a cheap bourbon or whiskey and put it in bottles that
Wild turkey.
that have like more expensive labels on it.
Like
that
wild turkey,
Yeah,
'cause
yeah.
it's so expensive.
So expensive. This was pre the whiskey boom that is currently happening.
Right.
And so he's telling her how to get over on people, like, you put in this whiskey in a special bottle, you make more money, yada, yada.
Because he's a hustler, baby.
That's what he does.
That's what he does.
And then while he's in the bar, he hears Tom Cruise break the balls.
Yes.
And he's like, whoa, that's pretty amazing.
And he sees something in him.
Yeah.
And you can tell he knows a little something about pool. Too.
Right.
And so he's watching this whole dynamic happening with Tom Cruise. Now, Tom Cruise he's like a kid.
Yes.
And he's like a hot dog. Mm-hmm. You know, he's no finesse.
No.
But he's really good.
And he like Tybo's the stick around.
Yes, that's what he does. He Tybo's the stick. And his girlfriend is Mary Elizabeth Mastrantoni.
Oh. I think. I don't
Whatever. I don't know. All I could think of watching her in this is that I bet you her and Julia Roberts were up for the same roles all the time because they look very similar.
She's beautiful.
She is.
Wait, was there someone also called Mary Stuart Masterson?
Yes, there was.
Oh.
Yes. There's
Okay.
a lot of
so many Marys.
If they were like, you can't just be Mary something. Mm-hmm. You got to get that middle name in there because Mary's too plain.
Right. Okay.
Right.
Mary Elizabeth Masters.
Mary Elizabeth, she's got them thick natties.
Stop. Don't say that.
Well, you see her nude in this.
No, I know. Okay, so come on, let's finish telling the story.
Okay, so I don't even know how to tell it.
Okay. The boobs.
So Eddie decides to take Vince under his wing and says, listen, I see some raw, you have raw talent. I know how to finesse people. I know how to hustle. I can help you make real money in this game, but you got to listen to me.
Right.
Quit your day job, which is working at like Babies R Us or Toys R Us or something like that. Quit your day job there and let's go on the road. It'll be me, you, your girlfriend, and I'm going to show you how to make real money. And at that point, it was a weird, almost sexual tension with the three of them in a weird way. Where I was like, does he want to have, like in the beginning, I was like, does he want to have sex with like both of them?
Well, we find out, and the girl's very focused on the money. And you can tell Tom Cruise, he just wants to play pool. He's like, in the beginning, it's just like, I'll play you for nothing, or I'll play you for half, or I just, he loves the game.
It's just for the love of the game.
Right. But the girlfriend's like, are you crazy? Because she's clearly in it for the money. And then when she's talking to Paul Newman later, she reveals that she met Vincent, Tom Cruise, because her ex-boyfriend broke into his house and they met each other at the police station.
Right. But I think Tom Cruise didn't realize that she was a part of the robbery.
Right. Tom Cruise doesn't realize that she was the getaway driver for that robbery. He thinks it was just a coincidence, but she pulls out this necklace and she's wearing this necklace that she's like, this is Vincent's mom's necklace, and he just thinks we have the same one, but it's the one from the robbery. So she's an unreliable
She's
character.
kind of playing him, too.
Yeah,
and you don't think, like, you kind of feel like, well, she's not really in love with Vince. Mm-hmm. She's just in it for, again, she sees something in him, a way to make money.
Right. So, so that builds up, like, when Paul Newman's first hanging out, like, she's definitely, like, playing both sides, and it's very clear that I think she's kind of like, well, I'm going to go where the
money is.
I'm going to follow the money, and I'm going to kind of throw myself at this guy just in case, because he might be the one that has the money. So like so
I'm going to sneak a boobie out.
Well, when Paul Newman goes into the room to talk to them, she's like in the bathroom nude, and like he sees her, and she doesn't cover up or anything like that. And then later on, he goes to visit, and Tom Cruise isn't there, and she's like in her gotchis, and she like sticks her butt out in his face and stuff like that. And then he finally is
I think they call that presenting.
I don't call it that. Maybe you do.
You don't watch a lot of nature shows, do you?
She presents to him her hiney.
That's right. She's like, here it is.
And he's like, you know what? I'm sick of your shit.
Yeah.
Like, you're either in this to help him win or not.
Like, this is what your role is. Your role is to keep him confident and everything. My role is to tell him the right things to do. Right. And we got to work together if we want to use this guy to make money.
And if you're trying to have sex with me, it's not going to work out.
Right.
So knock it off.
Right.
Yeah.
Stop
he,
it.
Shakes her around a little bit, and he's like, let's do it in the shower or something like that.
Yeah.
And then she's like, okay, fine. I'll be fine. I'll be regular.
I'll stop taking my boobs out in front of
you.
Jeez. Jeez.
Yeah.
So then they're kind of in it, except the problem is that to hustle, you have to lose.
Yes.
And that's part of it. Part of it is you're playing this long game.
Cruise isn't good at losing.
He doesn't want to lose. He's like, why would I play this game to lose? There's nothing that's
he's got an ego.
Right. And he's like, I am good at this. Why wouldn't I? He gave him a Baleska.
No.
Balushka?
Balabushka.
Balabushka, which they spent this long. Okay, guys. So they give him this. Presents him with this Balabushka, and there's this long, drawn out shot going from the one end of the stick to the other, and Kim and I are just like, wow, that's a nice stick. Like, great.
Yeah, it's such a boy thing.
The whole. I mean, Kim, pool is stick and balls.
I know, and a lot of the movie, they're like stroking it.
Yes. Yeah, it's all stick and balls, and that's it. It's like so spot on.
Yeah.
It's like they're not even trying to hide the fact
And they're
that
trying to get it in the hole.
Oh my God. I
yeah.
know.
Gross.
It's so gross.
Okay.
But that's the thing. Vince is kind of pure in that way, where he is just like, listen, I like this girl. I don't want to play games with her. I just want to settle. Like, that's the thing too.
Kind of gets him on board by being like, she's out the door, buddy. She's bored. She's ready to go. She's going to leave your ass if you don't, step up
and be more exciting and get more money
and not work at this toy store anymore. So that kind of seals the deal too. So they go on this like road trip of like trying to hustle.
Yeah.
And it's basically like, I don't know, probably 12 to 24 times that we watch them hustle other people, and
at the dirtiest, grossest bars on the face of the planet.
And Tom Cruise gets too cocky or is not cocky enough, or I don't know, something's wrong.
Yeah, and they do all these different plays where like sometimes they pretend they don't know each other. Two brothers and a stranger.
Yeah. What I don't know who the second brother is.
I don't know either. I didn't get it at all.
Is the girlfriend the brother?
I don't know. I have no idea. But they're doing all these different hustles. I can smell this movie. Like, this movie smells
like cigarettes.
Like cigarette. It smells like a dive bar. Like cigarettes and like stale alcohol, like beer. You know? Like, I can smell this movie.
Right.
And I also just feel like they're walking into all of these divey bars that don't have a lot of people in them, and it's the three of them. And I just feel like if you saw this older man and then this like young couple coming into a bar, of course you're going to be like, okay, something's up.
Right, they're trying to hustle me.
Right. This is a weird dynamic here. Yeah. I don't understand what's happening. So they do that, and after a while, they kind of start to get it, but Eddie still has this thing where he wants to win. So, I'm sorry, Vince still has this thing where he wants to win. So finally, like, Eddie one night goes out, and he takes his babaloo. What is it?
Balabushka.
That's the one. He takes it out, and he gets hustled by Forrest Whitaker.
Tom Cruise does?
No, Eddie.
Paul Newman does.
Paul Newman does.
Yeah.
He gets hustled himself, and then he's like crying about it. And he's just like, I should have seen the signs.
But it's also he's
hustled.
like sad because he needs glasses,
and because he didn't win.
But he needs glasses.
He does need glasses. So then he kind of dumps Tom Cruise and the girlfriend. He's just like, listen, here's some money. Here's your steak.
Go to Atlantic City.
I've taught you everything I could teach you.
Yeah.
You guys I'll see you in Atlantic City. Or you get to Atlantic City. Have fun with it. Then he goes, and there's this weird montage where he's getting glasses. He's swimming.
Yeah.
He's turning it all around.
And this might be a good time to talk about the directing of this movie. I mean, I know I'm not allowed to say that stuff.
You can say anything you want about Martin Scorsese. I don't think he's some kind of like
people love him, and I think he's a nice fella. But at the same time, like, I feel like this movie had some very like schmaltzy kind of shots that were very like, if you were like, I'm going to be a famous director and shoot a movie about pool, you would put those shots in it.
Yeah, I feel like you're very aware. It's too stylistic in some points, but then it's not stylistic in others, and you can really just feel the directing in it.
Yeah, and like there's times where he's like very close to their faces, like very like shooting very close to the face. And I know there's someone out there yelling, being like, "Well, that's the way he does it, and that's supposed to represent this." And they're probably freaking out about it, but at the same time, like that scene where he like swims for a half a second then bursts out of the water.
But you know what that is. Any movie where you have someone going in water, it's rebirth, and that's but it was like it was almost like
you're the person.
No, but I'm going to tell you still why it's not good. It didn't fit within the context of the movie. It was like Martin Scorsese going, well, he has to go in water because that shows rebirth, and this is his rebirth right now, going back to being
so he's a
for the love of pool. So the actual pool,
2 pools.
So we got to get him in water somehow, but it makes like in other movies where that happens, it makes a little bit more sense, right? But this, it doesn't. It's just shoehorned into the movie.
Yeah.
And so it's just like, okay, you're making it so obvious. Like, it's
Right.
just so obvious directing.
And
And
then
I feel
pops
like
up
it makes
out of
me
the-
mad that anyone thinks, like, watching this movie, I'd be like, this is not a great director.
No.
This makes no sense.
I wouldn't have given him another film.
No, I'd be like, you had your chance,
A little
Martin.
hacky.
It's very hacky. He's very hacky. I don't know. I'll say it.
Yeah.
I'll say it. And I'll also say this. Pool is boring.
It is boring. And there's much too much of it in this movie.
So much of it. Well, so anyway, sorry. He's reborn in the water.
Yeah. He gets glasses.
He gets some glasses, and now he's
Sunglasses for inside, though, but whatever.
whatever.
Okay.
He looks great.
Yeah.
Like, really.
Yeah, really great.
And then he's back playing pool. Now he's not the guy on the side. He's back in the action.
Yeah.
And he's loving it. He's kind of rediscovering his love of the game. And it's not just about the hustle. It's just about winning and playing your best, right? So it's almost like he's flipped with Vince. So then he gets to Atlantic City and he's playing as himself in Atlantic City. And he's doing great.
Right.
And of course, what happens, Kim?
He gets head to head with Vince. It's Vince versus Paul Newman.
Right.
Eddie.
And Eddie wins.
Yes.
And so then he feels really good about himself. He's so good that he goes outside. He does one of those, like, yes, like on his own. And
A private yes.
a private yes. And those are the best kind of yeses. And then he goes back to his room and he's all happy because his barmaid girlfriend has come to Atlantic City. And they keep talking about the Bahamas.
And moving in together. It's
Yeah,
gonna be
and
a
having
great
this
time.
life. But you kind of get a sense at the end that maybe that's not going to happen.
Right. Okay. But
But whatever. But then he, after the game and after he's lost, there's a knock on his door to his hotel room. Who is it, Kim?
it's Vince and Carmen. The
And
lady.
Carmen. And Vince hands him an envelope full of $8,000 in cash. And he's like, and Paul Newman's like, well, what is this? And Tom Cruise is like, well, that's your stake because I placed money against myself and I dumped the game.
I took a dump.
I took a dump. That's what they say in the movie. He took a dump right there on the table.
Yeah.
And he was all psyched about the hustle.
Yeah.
So again, it's completely flipped. Now you have Tom Cruise who's excited about the hustle and that side of it. And then you have Eddie, who you think would be really proud of him in that moment, but he's not. He's like, you didn't play your best. I thought I beat you
Right.
at your best.
Right. And then, so Eddie moves on and is supposed to move on in the tournament. He's obviously all like under duress because like all like sad and, you know, down and out about it. And then he ends up forfeiting his game right in the middle because he's just like, whatever.
Yeah, it doesn't
I'm
matter
over
anymore.
this. I'm not really the best.
Right.
I guess. I mean, I don't know.
He's been a little bit of a baby.
Yeah, he is. And then, so then he's like, well, I want to play you. I don't want to play you at your best or whatever.
Yeah.
So they go into the green room and they
They start playing
and then freeze frame
and that's it.
and it's on Paul Newman. He's like, I'm back in the game.
I'm back in the game and I'll see you in these other tournaments because I'm back, baby.
Yeah,
and
something
then that's
like
it.
that. And then it's like freeze.
So then that makes you think, well, he
Credits.
isn't going to go to the Bahamas and he's not going to go live with his wife
No.
because he's a hustler, baby, and he's a pool guy and
That's
he's going to
right.
be out on these streets doing this thing.
And once a pool guy, always a pool guy. You can't take it out of him. He's not going to settle down.
No.
He's got his glasses now.
No, now he can see. He can see
He
clearly
can see all
now.
the people he's going to beat.
Yeah, I couldn't get excited about a game of pool if my life depended on it.
No, like I really wanted it. So, and they only play that Eric Clapton song for a very short time in the beginning. And I really wanted there to be some sort of like cool montage of that. And I really think that they sold it like it was, you know, like when Tom Cruise is like flipping the sticks.
Oh, yeah,
and
yeah.
stuff
It's
like
gonna be
that. Like,
fun.
Like you thought that the whole movie was really going to be like
Yeah.
flashy like that.
Yeah.
You know, but it wasn't.
It wasn't. And you know what? I would have really appreciated a musical cue to tell me how to feel about some of these things.
Yeah.
I would have appreciated that. But the music was all the same.
Yeah.
And the funniest thing about the music is that because we have to have subtitles on, we get to read the lyrics of these
Yeah.
fucking songs, and they're awful. Just awful. They're meaningless. I just felt like I needed something to get me to understand what I'm supposed to feel in this moment.
Yeah.
Because I felt nothing.
Yeah, no, I didn't
Nothing.
feel much. And I wasn't even like, I was more rooting for Paul Newman to hook up with the girlfriend. Like, I wasn't rooting for them to be like a good couple or anything like that.
I wasn't rooting for that. But I didn't understand what was happening for a long time. Where I was like, are they falling in love with each other? Are they going to end up together?
But I didn't feel like Tom Cruise and her were like sexy or anything like that either. They weren't like they didn't have a spark.
No. Well, I feel like they're not very likable.
Right.
Right.
And I feel like she's just in it for the money.
She's not likable or charming. You don't get any backstory on her where you feel bad
she was
for
nominated
her.
for an Academy Award
For that?
and he won.
Well, I mean, as you said before, he won because of his other things, but he was still good. I mean, he played it fine, but I feel like it's just emotionally flat. Like the whole thing, like there's no love in this movie. The maybe love of the game comes in, but even where he's like talking to he's like missing his girl, his barmaid girl, and he's talking on their phone. You still get the sense of like he just needs to have someone to talk to, but he's not invested. He's not so like in love with her. It's just emotionally flat. The whole movie.
Yeah,
but maybe boys get more out of it. Maybe that's the thing. Maybe to boys, like they feel more.
I'll be interested to know if your husband has seen this movie.
I'll be interested to know that as well. I mean, I feel like this movie is about masculinity.
Yeah.
I mean, it's. We already talked about the sticks and the balls.
Yeah, sure.
And the holes. So there's that part of the whole thing. But it's also like you have an older man looking at a younger man who's in the prime of his life and maybe feeling a little bit like I don't know if there's a jealousy or this he's living vicariously through Tom Cruise.
Yeah.
And he's kind of like, I did messed up in my life. I didn't get to go as far as maybe I could have, but I can live vicariously through you because I'm going to coach you.
Right. And I think that there's that like, I don't know. Yeah, that redemption. It's like that redemption story kind of thing.
Right. And it's like, if you go back to, with a road trip movie, it's always about finding something. Like you start from point A, from point B, you learn about yourself in the midst of it, along the way, right? And I feel like Eddie isn't good at being an adult, right? He's never settled down. He still has these kind of like, he's made money.
He's still hustling.
He's still hustling.
He's in his work. Even though he's not playing pool, he's still hustling people with cheap whiskey.
Yes.
Or whatever.
Right. So he's not good at being an adult. But when you meet Vince at first, it's almost like he's ready to be an actual adult. He has a real job and he wants to settle down. He's got his girlfriend living with him. He seems to want to settle down with her.
He likes to play pool, but it's like just kind of like
a thing. He talked about he's actually like, well, I like this video game better, and I feel like if I keep playing this video game, I'm going to get into West Point and be good at
because that's how it works.
I don't know.
Shooting.
But you definitely get that sense that Eddie misses being young. He wants to be young again. So he's living vicariously and he kind of wants this other shot, but he's also at the same time, it's like he's leaning into that stability because in the beginning when he's talking to his barmaid girl, he's like, how about we live together and we do that trip again?
Yeah, but I think he's just bored.
Yes.
Like
but it's this other life that pulls him back.
That's pulling him back in.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Boys are weird.
Yeah.
Really, really weird.
I would like to hear someone tell me why they loved it. I would love to hear that.
I know.
I mean it.
Can someone mansplain that? Right. Your husband in here. Can he mansplain to us why this is a great movie?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Or do people not think it is? I mean, it seems to do well. When I researched it, it's pretty high up on all those sites as a movie that people like.
But is that just because it's directed by Martin Scorsese?
Yeah,
and people are like, well, everything he does is good.
It has Paul Newman in it, and it has Tom Cruise in it. And this was obviously probably a comeback product for Paul Newman, or a reemergence kind of thing. It seems he went, kind of quiet for a while.
I don't know.
I
know nothing about his career. I just know about his face.
And let's talk about that face.
Jeez Louise, that face.
It's carved from stone.
It's beautiful.
It is beautiful.
He's like a Roman prince.
He is.
Jeez.
He's lovely. And his 61-year-old skin was flawless.
I mean, but it was perfect. It's I was saying, he smells like tobacco and cologne. Mm-hmm. His cheeks a little sandpapery.
Smells like tobacco, cologne, and bad decisions.
His clothes all fit him so nice.
Yeah.
He's fit. But he's not super fit.
At one part he's got suspenders on, which hot.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. I get why he's the star that he is. He is just, he's a movie star.
He's Hollywood.
He's Hollywood.
Yeah.
You feel that. It's like the same thing with George Clooney.
Yeah.
Like certain people
got
just
Clooney
have
vibes.
a charisma.
Yeah.
And he's got the riz,
Right.
as the kids say.
He sure does.
He's got the riz. I do want to tell you that in the middle of this movie, I thought of what my band name is going to be.
Your band name?
My band name.
For what?
For my future rock band that I'm going to have.
okay.
We're going to be called the Fire Barrel Hobos.
Okay.
Because there's always fire barrels with hobos
know.
around them.
They get cold.
In the 80s, though? Because this was supposed to be the 80s, right?
They get cold. They still got cold. It was cold in the 80s.
But yeah, I feel like, to me, I don't like this movie.
No, I didn't like it either. I thought I was going to be pleasantly surprised and entertained. I was not. It was also 1 hour and 56 minutes long.
Yeah, it's too long.
That was way long.
Cut a half hour off of that
Yeah.
thing.
I couldn't believe it. I was like, whoa, what time is it?
You could easily cut a half hour just by like not showing so much balls.
So many balls flying all over the place.
Yeah, we didn't need to see that many balls.
No.
You should have reduced it, but upped the ante and like told us a little bit more about what we needed to see.
Yeah.
The movie starts out with Martin Scorsese voiceover explaining what the game of 9-ball is. But I feel like I needed a little bit more instruction.
And also, I didn't pay attention. I was getting
you were moving
snack.
around. I mean, I kind of like was reading along with it and kind of understood what they were saying, like enough to know you wanted to get the 9-ball in the pocket.
Oh, okay.
So I knew that. But even then, I feel like these games were going by so fast. I didn't understand what any of them meant.
And I don't feel like there was any like moves where I was like, whoa.
Right. You just saw sticks, balls, money changing hands.
And the balabushka.
And the balabushka.
All right. Well, are we done talking about it?
I mean, I'll probably want to talk about it later with your husband.
Okay.
But I think for the sake of this podcast,
Yeah, we're done.
I'm done.
Tell us if you love this movie. Please tell us why. confidentlycontroversial@gmail.com.
We need to know.
Send us a note. And we're fully serious. Like, I'm not challenging you. I'm just asking.
Yeah, I need to know.
Right.
Is this a good movie that we just don't understand?
Right. All right.
I mean, it's no summer school.
Sure ain't. All right. Do you want to hear how this connects to Kurt Russell?
I need to know.
All right. We're back. Stop looking at your phone.
Okay. Sorry.
All right.
Oh, we're talking now?
Yeah, we're talking.
Oh, okay.
So this is a direct connect. I know. Just in case we forget the little sound.
Okay.
Sometimes we do. Sometimes we don't.
I
It's
know.
fine.
You know,
I love
whatever.
that. You know, it's a treat. It's a special treat.
It is a special treat.
All right. So Tom Cruise.
Yeah.
He was in a 2001 American science fiction psychological thriller film called Vanilla Sky.
Oh, yeah.
And so was Kurt Russell.
Kurt Russell was in that?
Yeah, apparently so.
Okay. I saw it
Jason
once.
Lee, Cameron Diaz, Penelope Cruz.
I saw
Tom
it.
Cruise, Kurt Russell. I saw it too. Maybe in the movie theater.
I did see it in the movie
Maybe
theater.
with you. Most likely. What are the chances that we saw it without each other?
Seriously.
I mean, pretty slim.
Seriously.
All right. So what do we have to tell the people?
Like, subscribe, do all the things you're supposed to do. Buy a frickin' t-shirt, people.
Yeah. If you're having trouble finding the store on our website, it's there.
And it's called Store.
It's called Store, I believe. Yeah. And so it's at the top or maybe in the drop down menu.
You can
if you're
find it. It's
there
not that hard.
It's not that hard. We don't have that many tabs. But thank you to those of you who have purchased so far. We get very excited with that.
And why don't you get yourself a nice tank for the summer?
Yeah, we have a really good tank.
I love that tank. I
Me
wore it the other
too.
day.
I want another one.
I know. We should design a new one.
Okay.
Okay. And there's also a good baseball hat to protect your face from the sun.
That's right. It's the perfect summer gear. Maybe we'll post some pictures of it.
Yes.
We haven't done that yet.
Okay.
But anyway, so if you are Paul Newman,
Yes.
yes, you should grow up and focus on love
Okay.
because
Love of what, though? The ladies or the pool?
the ladies.
Okay.
Calm down a little bit. Get your glasses on, sit by the TV,
Yeah.
enjoy the time that you have left.
Yeah. Sip a good whiskey.
That's right.
Not a cheap one.
Not a cheap one,
Yeah.
but
But don't be controversial and, try and look at some younger guy's girlfriend's boobs.
or take a dump.
Or take a dump on a pool table.
Why do we always have to end this way? Why am I like this?
I don't know. But I like it. I like
Okay.
you.
All right.
All right. Well, guys, thank you so much for listening.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Controversial.